And that was Jar Jar Binks, a rather unfortunate character with whom a generation of children now forever associate with Star Wars. And to many of us who grew up with the original Star Wars trilogy, this is nothing short of a tragedy. So as we prepare for the latest installment to the Star Wars saga, let's discuss with WSJ Features editorial director Christopher Farley that prickly place where parenting and pop culture meet. Chris, it's so great to have you here. Am I overstating it when I say that for our generation, the original Star Wars trilogy was the cinematic phenomenon?
Well, Star Wars certainly was a big moment in people's childhoods, in their adulthoods, and it's something we want to share with our kids in a good way. It's amazing that the franchise has lived on. It's amazing that kids are still excited about seeing this new movie. And we want to continue to stoke that excitement because we remember fondly how cool it was when we were kids.
Absolutely. And you recently wrote about the experience you had introducing your kids to Star Wars. How did they respond?
Well, here's the thing, you know, all parents out there are going to face a choice very soon. Of course, kids are going to watch the original Star Wars to prepare for the new one, Star Wars The Force Awakens, when that opens on December 18th. But the question is, where do you stop? Do you just show them that first one? Do they see the second one, The Empire Strikes Back? That's also got great reviews and obviously a terrific movie. Do they see the third, where there's kind of a drop-off? Or do they just skip the entire second trilogy altogether, the one that started in 1999 and went on into the early 2000s? I mean, those movies didn't get great reviews from a lot of critics. They didn't capture some of the heart of the original franchise. So do kids need to see that?
Absolutely. I mean, as a parent, I struggled with that myself. Do I show them the original, number 4, 5, and 6, in now the way that it's enumerated, or do you just show them in order so they can kind of follow the story? In the end, you're in love with the original trilogy, and you show your kids the original and sort of hope that they can tell the difference.
Yeah, and part of the issue here is the fact that special effects have changed. I mean, Yoda, done as a kind of puppet Muppet, it was right there in the frame with the actors. You can accept it for what it is, and you can feel an emotional bond with it. People might be a little more distanced from seeing these, some of these aliens and creatures in the franchise rendered as CGI creations, where they are creatures purely existing on the computer, and it's not as interesting, it's not as emotionally compelling, and so our kids going to latch onto that in the same way we latched on to some of those original creatures when we were younger.
Why do you think it's so important for our generation to share these experiences with our kids and feel that they've appreciated our pop culture markers? Well,
obviously part of it is sort of parental narcissism. You want to feel like your choice has been validated. If you liked it, you hope your kids liked it. That makes you feel good about what you liked as a kid. You know, 2, we want to see that the choices we loved as a kid have held up over time, that R.E.M. is still a cool band, that Nirvana still rocks, that Bob Marley is still someone a cultural icon that should be respected. And when our kids embrace that, it makes us feel good these things have lived on over time.
It's so true, and I think sharing these things that meant a lot to you as a kid with your children is also a way of sort of transcending the daily parental tirade of do your homework, eat your vegetables. You're really sharing something authentic with your children.
But also, I think because of the digitization of pop culture, because things exist on iPods, a lot of times the physical things we hand down to kids, record albums, cassette tapes, books, they don't take those things because they're experiencing them all on the iPad, and we can't always share our digital libraries. And so when at least they embrace our values, the things we love, like Star Wars or Alien or the Back to the Future trilogy or the movie Schindler's List or Glory, these movies we really love, and they say, you know what, we love these things too. We respect them. We have an emotional pull from them. That makes us feel good, and it's something we can pass on, if not digitally, if not physically, at least emotionally.
Absolutely. Now, looking ahead to The Force Awakens, we can only hope that Jar Jar Binks does not make an appearance, but do you have any inside information on that point, Chris?
Well, you know, if Jar Jar Binks makes an appearance, you'll see me with my kids just file out. I think my kids will be right with me there. I think I've transmitted enough of my values. If Jar Jar Binks is on the screen, we all leave.
And I think we'll be right behind you. Chris Farley, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.